Welcome to The Trend. I'm Rebecca Granet. She is the math whiz who teaches us all that math is truly a part of our lives in her New York Times best-selling books. She's also, you remember her as Winnie Cooper from The Wonder Years. You may have also crushed on her a few times in those years as well. Her newest book is out now. It's called Do Not Open This Math Book. So of course we want to open it. It is Danica McKellar. Danica, thank you so much for hanging out with us today and spending some time.
My pleasure.
Do not open this math book. As I just said, I obviously want to open it. Secret, I have opened it already.
Have you? I thought I told you, don't open it.
I don't like to listen. I had to. So tell me what, how you came up with this title and the reverse psychology behind it all.
So this book it covers addition and subtraction for ages 6 to 8 in a really super fun way with cartoons and stuff. And because it's written for ages 6 to 8 and I have a 7-year-old, I happen to know that when you tell a 7-year-old they can't do something, what do they want to do? Actually, that spans a much bigger range than just right? 6 to 8. I am pretty sure 2 to 10, 18, something like that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this is little Mr. Mouse character doesn't want you to open the book because Mr. Mouse is afraid of math.
Okay, he's afraid of math.
Yeah, so that little cartoon is throughout, and he doesn't want to do math, but he's always hungry, and so there's a Danica cartoon, and they have this fun little dialogue. And just, you gotta lighten the mood. Yeah. So many kids are afraid of math, even at this age. And the parents at this age, when they've got the 6 and 7-year-olds coming home, they're actually starting to become afraid of math because the math looks different now. And so one of the things I do in this book is I bridge the gap between how we learned math and how our kids are learning math, and to make it more familiar and friendly. Because the last thing you want as a parent is for your 6-year-old or your 6, 7, or 8-year-old to come home and you don't know how to help them with their math homework.
You don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we all want to be heroes to our kids, and we want to have the answers.
You're making it approachable, and for those who want to approach you, you're going to be at a book signing.
Yes,
tonight.
Nice segue.
Did you like that?
I loved that segue. I'm so impressed.
It's English. It's my thing.
Yeah.
It's not the math, but the English.
Well done.
No, you're going to be in Tribeca tonight
Barnes
at 6 p.m.
Yeah, Barnes & Noble on Warren Street at 6 p.m.
Okay.
I'll be signing these books, actually signing all my books. I've got a bunch of math books for little babies up through high school geometry, and they should all be there at the bookstore, so you can buy a couple books. I'll sign them. If you want to bring other memorabilia, some people have Wonder Years pictures and stuff. If you buy a book, I'll sign a piece of memorabilia, and of course I'm taking pictures with people, and my autographs will be personalized. I know not everybody does that, but I really like to make it
a nice little message or something.
Yeah, I'll say to so-and-so, and some people get them for their for friends who are teachers or kids or nieces and nephews, grandkids. Some people buy them to donate to libraries. Which
this is a great one for that. And
yes.
You're going to be in LA too, doing a book signing then Saturday, right?
Okay. At 1 o'clock at the Barnes & Noble on the Grove. In the Grove, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, same deal. Pictures, autographs, personalized, meet and greet.
So I won't give away too much, but I know that you did dedicate the book to your son Draco.
Yes.
And you said that Mr. Mouse, who is this character who kind of takes you through all of the math in this book, some of the best parts of Mr. Mouse is inspired by Draco?
Yes.
Tell me how.
Well, he's just this mischievous little guy, and tries to get away with stuff, and I mean, look, he's afraid of math, and my son is not afraid of math. I mean, how could my son be afraid of math with a mom like me?
Is he as enthusiastic as you, though, or?
I don't know anybody who's as enthusiastic as me.
That's true. This is very true. I accept
That's
that.
not fair. He actually, he loves math, but he really loves English. He loves words. He loves silent letters and homonyms and synonyms and alliteration. He's fascinated.
Well, you're the palindrome queen, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
for sure.
So every Thursday on Twitter at 7:20 p.m. Pacific, I put out a clue, and the answer is a palindrome. And for those of you who don't know, a palindrome is a word or phrase spelled the same backwards and forwards, like kayak, or Madame, I'm Adam, or I prefer pie, spelled P-I, like the number pi. I prefer pie as a palindrome.
Oh my gosh. See, that's what makes me crazy is that there's some that could just, the kayak I get, okay, that's fine. But when you start getting into multiple words, then you have to start picturing
though, right?
it. Yes, it is very exciting.
Take it apart, it's fun. It's kind of the mathy part of English.
I love that.
Yes.
Tell me about, Danica, what does it take to write a book like this? Because I was really going through it and I was doing so, you put actual math problems in there and you sort of relate it to real life, things that you maybe wouldn't necessarily think are math related, some now become math related, and it's really relatable. I mean, what goes into creating a book of this magnitude?
About 3 years. This took
Wow.
about 3 years. It's a lot of talking to teachers, first of all, to find out what, because I love math and I understand math and I teach my son. I homeschool him actually. But what's going on in the classrooms? What are the kids struggling with the most? What do they need the most help with? What have you found to be the most helpful? So there's a lot of research. Then there's the writing process itself, and there's the design. For me, especially in my middle school and high school books, I want to make sure that every single thing that they do in math, anything that I teach in math, they know a real world application. So in this, it's addition and subtraction. Clearly, we all know anytime you're dealing with money, you add and subtract. So that's not so much of a concern. Like, oh no, will they realize this is useful in life? No, but of course they will. But I make it fun and cartoony. I wish I had cartoony math books when I was growing up. I think that would have been more fun. Math has a reputation of being kind of dry sometimes because it can be dry if it's presented that way.
Very fair, very fair.
Yeah.
No, I completely understand where you're coming from. I remember when I was in pre-calc and I had a teacher who really was not getting through to any of us. And then once I had my breakthrough moment, okay, this is how you do it. It's like, everybody gather around, I need to tell you because I want you to not be sad.
So you became the teacher for a moment.
For a moment or two, yeah, I did.
Fantastic.
Because you know what, math is like one of those subjects that can really make you sad if you don't get it. When you get it, it can also make you really happy. So
Yes.
I love that you're able to help people with that.
Well, and that's part of why I'm so passionate about math and about making sure kids aren't afraid of math, because when you have that struggle, when you think you can't do something, you can't do a math problem, and then you stick with it and you do it, you've just taught yourself a life lesson of stick-to-itiveness, and you're teaching yourself that you're stronger and smarter than you thought. And those kind of lessons, those gifts that you can give yourself as a kid, nobody else can give that to you, and nobody can take it away from you. It's something that you're building for yourself. When you do math, it's like going to the gym for your brain. You actually get stronger. And when you struggle with a math problem, it's like lifting a heavy weight. If you do easy math problems all day long, you're not going to strengthen your brain. But by struggling with it and like, how does this really work? Let me think about it this way. Let me think about it that way. That's when you're strengthening your brain and you're sculpting your mind.
You're building your math muscle.
Yes, and a lot of kids also feel discouraged because they think if they don't get something right away, that they're stupid, or they think that, if they're compared to other students, they say, oh, well, I'm not as good at math as so-and-so is, and they think they're stuck at one level of math ability, and that's not true. Because doing math is like going to the gym for your brain, you can increase your math ability just by practicing it.
You can have breakthroughs.
Yes,
Yeah.
like you did, and then become the teacher.
Yeah. Well, tell me about your math journey. So you really went to school and you said, like, I can major in anything. I'm going to choose math. So how did you, was it always something that came naturally to you? Did you feel like you wanted to work out your math muscle and push through?
So when I was in high school, I did take the BC Calculus AP exam. I did all that stuff. And I got a 5 on it. I did very well. I loved the challenge of it. And then when I got to college, I thought of college math as something that other people did, not me. So even though I'd done well in high school, I didn't see myself as being good at college math. And I know that's because of just stereotypes. I didn't look the part. But I did recognize that my brain was feeling a little mushy. I did, and I thought, you know what? I was like, I'm just going to go for it. I'm scared. I don't know if I might fail, but I like a good challenge, and my brain feels mushy, and I did identify that with not being in math, and so I went for it. And I was floored. At the time, I was planning on being a film major, but I scored at the top of my class, and this class full of 163 people, like far and above. And the way I know that is because the professor actually graphed our scores on the chalkboard. Who does that?
Gosh.
Anyway,
Oh, boy.
no, not with names. But
okay.
I saw my score. I saw it. I was like, that's me. Like, I'm the dot that's like above. What's going on?
Yeah. It was encouraging.
It was encouraging, and I felt so smart and capable and just strong and valuable for something that had nothing to do with my life as a child star.
Yeah.
So it was really empowering for me. And I also know that you don't have to have been on television as a teenage girl to be struggling with your identity and your self-worth. So that's why my math books start for middle school and high school girls to say, look, embrace your smarts, be strong, be smart, and you can do this for yourself. Be empowered to do this for yourself. And here's some super fun and silly ways of remembering some of these formulas you have to learn so that you feel that much more capable and confident.
I love that. It really does. It makes it relatable and approachable, and it makes you sort of associate it with things that make it easier to understand, and I think it's really fantastic. Before, Danica, we get into the 10 for 10, we of course have to talk for a minute about the Wonder Years. It's been, I think, 30 years since the premiere of the show.
Right, yes.
And I know Fred Savage has said no reunion ever. How do you feel about that?
Well, look, it was my childhood. It's kind of like saying, do you want to revisit your childhood? Look, I'd be open to the idea, but I also get that the show was really about nostalgia. And so to bring that back might ruin it somehow.
Okay.
It might just ruin the bittersweet memories that we developed in that show, and the heartache and all that stuff, all the yearning for the childhood. If you try to bring that back, I just don't know what that does to the original experience. So I can't say that I'd be open to it, but I can't say that I don't see where he's coming from as well.
Okay. Very fair, very fair. Because, with all the, I mean, not even a reboot, just a reunion, but...
But can you really do, like, a very Wonder Brady Christmas thing?
No.
You know what I mean? It just doesn't...
Well, we at the station, we were all talking about maybe just a Winnie Cooper spinoff, like a Where Is She Now?
Like a math thing?
Yeah, like, if Fred doesn't want to get in on it, then we could just do a whole spinoff for you and see what happens.
Look, if it were well written enough and it made sense, sure. I can't see it right now.
Okay.
But it's not saying that doesn't mean it's impossible.
Okay, nothing is impossible, right? We learned that with the math book.
That's right. And by the way, I wanted to mention too.
Yeah,
so I've got books from the other book coming out today is called Bath Time, Math Time.
Okay.
And
This
I've got
is so cute. Yeah.
Bath Time, Math
This,
Time.
yeah.
It's a really sweet little book with tabs on it. So each tab has a different short addition problem, and the idea is you're adding one. And that's like counting. It's counting to the next number. So that's teaching a little kid how to go from counting to adding. So 3 plus 1 equals 4. Well, if you're counting, what would come after 3? 4. Right? So anyway, so I've got these books, and they're all, Goodnight Numbers came out last year. Very sweet bedtime book. I want to make sure that kids never remember a time when math wasn't happy and fun and sweet and relatable and accessible and just like they're friends with math from their earliest memories. So if you go to McKellarmath.com, McKellarmath.com, there's a big slider button, which I'm very proud of. I was very excited to have this be a part of the
slider
website.
button?
A big slider button where, depending on your kid's age, you can see which book is best, which McKellar Math book is best.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that a lot. I like that. Be friends with math from the very beginning, which
Yes.
is very good. Okay, are you ready for your 10 for 10?
Yes.
No looking.
Okay. Sorry. It's right in front of me,
10 questions, 10 seconds for each.
Well, who's timing it?
No one's timing it. We're gonna, it's like a rough 10 seconds.
Okay.
You don't want to look backwards. It's no fun. So,
Okay.
so we're not that tough here, I promise. I know you like the number 10, but that's not going to be that bad.
Okay.
Okay, your first one. 395 divided by 5.
No.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm not
You're
Rain
better
Man.
I'm kidding. Okay, for real this time. You did Dancing with the Stars. You love academic challenges. What is a new challenge that you would like to try?
Oh my goodness. I've thought about skydiving, but the truth is, now that I'm a mom, I won't do it.
Fair. That's a good point. Okay. The craziest nickname you've ever had?
Dan.
What is that about?
No. The craziest one is Ika. Ika, the end of Danica.
Absolutely.
Brecken Myers called me that.
I'm sorry?
Brecken Meyer called me that.
Oh, cute. Very cute.
Ika.
Okay.
Horrible name.
You know, yeah.
Ika.
It's like
It's
icky.
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ika, I don't know. I guess it could be
It
endearing.
didn't last. It was just for one movie.
Did you shut it down? You're like,
yeah.
that's it, we're done here.
Yeah.
Now you restarted it. No, I'm kidding. Okay, tell me about what's your favorite guilty pleasure, like binge show, something that you love watching?
Millionaire Matchmaker.
Me too. I love that show. That's a good one. What about your least favorite subject in school?
Art history.
Okay.
And now I like art history, but when I was in college, I could not stay awake in art history class. These comfy
I remember
theater
a bunch
chairs,
of classes I couldn't
and
stay
the
awake
lights
in
would dim, and they
college.
started showing us these pretty pictures, and it was like, okay, you guys, this is not fair.
Bedtime.
Yeah.
On page 39 of your book, it says that you tell the readers to put on their thinking caps.
Oh, of Do Not Open This Math Book.
Of
Yes.
Do Not Open This Math Book, absolutely. And what theirs would look like, maybe a crown or a football helmet. So what would your imaginary thinking cap look like?
So first of all, a thinking cap is an imaginary cap that you wear to face tough math problems. If you're feeling a little bit intimidated, just imagine yourself with this powerful cap, hat of any kind. For me, it would probably be a crown.
I like it.
Yeah.
Math queen. What
Yeah,
about
there
your
you go.
biggest cooking fail?
When I was 15, I tried to make Irish soda bread, and I did not realize that baking soda, like I didn't have enough experience in baking to realize that when it said a teaspoon and a half and I thought it was a cup and a half of baking soda, that would have been really wrong. Like I didn't have any experience, so I read it wrong and I put it in. It was horrible. It was salty. It was so bad. It was like, it was awful. Bitter and salty and tough.
Oh boy. Okay, so chemistry, we'll leave that one. We'll leave it to math.
Yeah, you know the problem is also for me in baking is that I try to improve recipes. I'm like, oh, I know what would make it better before I even tried the regular recipe.
Oh,
and then something goes wrong. I tried to make cookies once with an extra egg, so I thought it would make them fluffier. You do that with cake, not eggs. I mean, not cookies, and I didn't realize that. So I ended up all the cookies like spread out into this weird like half cookie, half low cake thing on
Like
the
a
pan.
cookie cake, kind of.
But it wasn't. But it was all
good.
separated still, kind of.
Did they let you cook in your house still? Or is that it?
No,
Is that
those happened when I was a kid.
Oh, okay, fair.
Now
fair.
nobody has to know when I fail.
Okay, yeah, good, exactly. We'll keep it private. What about your favorite type of math?
My favorite type of math was in college. It's called real analysis. It's the class where you prove the calculus theorems that you use in your first couple years of college. I just loved going back to it, like proving stuff from the ground up. Like here's math and here's calculus, and like we're gonna prove it.
Yeah, make sure.
And it's so much dealing with infinitely small things, infinitely many of them. That's what I love about calculus.
Do you know what I
It feels
used to
like
I
magic.
loved logs. Do you remember logs? Mm-hmm. You just made me remember that just now when you talked about when you're
Logs or
I don't know.
limits?
No, logs. When you had
Okay.
to do like the LN. Or,
Yeah.
am I right about that? Or
LN
am I
is,
off?
yeah, that's natural logs.
Yeah, natural logs. There we go. Okay.
Yep.
It's like being nostalgic now. You're reminding me of all my math.
Aw, math nostalgia.
Yeah, there you go. What about besides from math? What about your favorite thing to do to unwind and have fun?
Hang out with my son.
Oh, that's sweet.
7-year-old. We have so much fun. He's so cuddly and he's adorable. He just watched Cinderella for the first time. We went to the play, which he kind of had mixed feelings about. So did I, for that matter. It was very well done, but I guess I'm just nostalgic for the actual Cinderella story. And so I put on the movie, and he loved it. He loved the little mice. Just cuddling with him on the
little
couch.
mice,
Yes,
like
oh my
Mr.
gosh, it's so
Mouse.
true. Mr. Mouse. We just have so much fun. Like, I love sharing stuff from my childhood with him and cuddling on the couch and just watching.
Sweetest times.
Yeah, so sweet.
What about when you look back on the Wonder Years? Is there, I'll leave it open-ended for you. Is it a favorite moment, a favorite line you may have said, a favorite episode, something that you look back on and you just pinpoint a moment that you're like, I loved this moment or this one thing?
Oh gosh, do I have to pick just one?
I'll give you two.
Okay. One of them was my first kiss, of course. I mean, it was my real first kiss, and I was so nervous. It was Fred's first kiss too. That was during the pilot episode. And my other favorite moment was the fact of this one episode that Winnie Cooper, my character, scored higher on the math SATs than Kevin Arnold did.
Would this make sense?
And it was so fun. That was a great episode, and and then at the end of the episode, I let him win at bowling or something to try to help his ego out. It was just a really funny.
So this is where it all started.
Foreshadowing,
this
perhaps.
This is where it all started. Now we really found the real thing.
Exactly.
Those are good ones. Your last one, you're doing very well. Something you will do to celebrate the release of Do Not Open This Math Book.
Oh my goodness. What will I do to celebrate the release? I will probably maybe try to get a full night's sleep.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I traveled in last night and from LA and had to wake up at 4:30 in the morning here to start press, which is 1:30 in the morning LA time, which was like the time I went to bed the night before.
Yeah.
So I didn't really sleep last night.
Well, you don't look
So
it.
I'm like, thank you. It's all a facade. As soon as I get back to the hotel, I'm going to
yeah, right.
pass
That's
out.
how we're gonna pass out.
But not before I do my book signing.
Yes.
So anyone coming to the book signing tonight,
Go for it.
Is,
We're at that time, Danica. So you can talk about it. I won't even say it. Go for it. Book signing.
Oh, book signing tonight at 6 o'clock at the Barnes Noble on Warren Street in Tribeca. And you know now that I have no sleep under my belt, but you see if you can even tell. I challenge you because I will be
won't be
perky
able to.
and happy and excited. I will answer your questions. I'll do a brief talk, then we'll do Q&A. You guys can ask me anything you want. Then I'll sign books, personalize them to you. We'll take pictures. You can post selfies, do all that. It'll be fun.
I'm just going to sit back and relax. You can just take it away.
So thank you so much for joining us on The Trend with Rebecca Granet.
There you go. Very good. No. Anyway, she'll also be at a book signing in LA on Saturday as well, everyone. Do not open this math book. Here it is. Danica, thank you so much for hanging out.
Thank you. It was really fun.
It was good. You totally...